Hello, baby.
Hello, nasty. Hello there.
Hello.
I say hello.
Hello, friend.
Well, hello, little girl.
Hello, my treacherous friends.
Hello, operator.
The beginning of everything. Welcome back, my friends. It's showtime.
Hey everybody, it's episode 267 of The Brink of Sanity. I am Jay, and with me is Bry and John from Random Ass Radio. How you doing, guys?
Go ahead, John. You first.
I'm doing great, Jay.
Excellent. This is this is a great start so far.
I'm one day closer to my suicide clock starting.
Oh yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Is there any reason for that?
No, I'm just having like a major meltdown.
Nothing set you off? You just
Yeah, just I hate my job, and I almost got fired 2 weeks ago, and I was stressing that I was going to get fired, and now I wish I did.
Did you do something?
Yeah, I fucked something up a couple weeks ago on a Friday, so I had like all weekend to
Think about it.
Yeah.
Did you get admonished?
No, actually, I didn't. Nothing really came out of it, and I was relieved at the time, but now I'm just so annoyed with everyone and everything I work that I wish I had gotten fired. But
Hey, Bri, before I decide how I feel about this issue, you're not a neonatal nurse, are you?
no,
Okay, cool. What'd you fuck up?
I work in a law firm, and the attorneys dictate into like a little recorder, and then we send it out, and this woman transcribes it. Anyway, so this attorney was working on a brief, and I accidentally deleted it off the recorder. So that wasn't good.
That sounds like the one and only video editing gig I got, and my video camera erased the tape on the way home.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I know how you feel.
Yeah.
I'm not loving life either right now. I realized how fat I am. That's always humbling.
I'm actually less fat than I thought I was. I got on the scale, and I was like 15 pounds lighter than what I thought I weighed, and I was like, holy cow.
Wow.
I just really look like shit.
I haven't weighed myself. I just know that like none of my clothes fit anymore. So I was like, oh, I'll keep wearing the one pair of pants and 3 shirts that fit over and over and over again. How about you, John? How suicidal are you?
Oh, I'm way past that. My own bad habits and lifestyle will kill me before I ever do take it into my own hands and try and pull the plug. If we're going to talk about fat, I just spent another 8 hours in the hospital emergency room last Monday because I eat like a 12-year-old and have eaten like a 12-year-old for 46 years now. And it's finally clicked in my brain after one major surgery and 2 trips to the emergency room that, hey, you know what? Maybe you should eat better. Because that I shit's not like, oh, you've got incurable cancer, you've got something you've got to take a lot of drugs and treatment for. I have an intestinal problem that can cause major complications if you don't eat enough fiber and eat healthily. And unfortunately, like with most things that are great truths in life, that's very fucking hard to do. But I am a week and a half now into a lifestyle change. So that means twice as much beer and a lot more lettuce.
So what were you eating? Like hot dogs and chicken fingers and mac and cheese?
No,
That's all I eat. Is that bad?
My big thing is drunk at 11:30 watching TV with like a big fucking bag of Doritos and queso, you know, and pounding that, and then not like getting up the next morning hungover and not eating anything until about 3. When I've just started drinking again, I'm fucking starving because I haven't eaten all day, and then just pounding more crap into my body.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah, it can make you bleed internally.
I think the 2 years I lived at Bry, I had almost nothing but carbs for the entire time. I think I lived on like mac and cheese and like mashed potatoes and stuffing.
Yeah, anything you could make with water on a pan.
Yeah, exactly. Every once in a while, Bry had a friggin' deep fat fryer in his bedroom. We'd bring that
Used
out.
to blow the power out.
Yeah. Our landlord would be like, I just typed a paper for 5 hours and didn't save it. I'm like, well, you're fucking stupid for not saving it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a fun
Yeah, we needed fried mashed potato balls.
fried mashed potato balls.
The best things in the world now are
Oh, you said you pulled.
fried mac and cheese wedges.
Hmm. Yeah, I think I had that, but it was at a bar, so I don't think it was like very good.
You brought up your Trinity. You also had stuffing in there, and I'll guarantee you, if you wadded some stuffing up into a ball and threw it in a deep fat fryer, it would be fucking awesome with ranch poured all over it.
You had
Calm down, John. Calm down.
I miss food already.
I think we're on to something though. Nobody's made fried stuffing balls.
Okay, the Brink of Sanity is now the home cooking podcast.
That's like something straight out of like Guy Fieri's menu.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's deep fried fat.
Yeah, Guy Fieri is not even real, is he? I thought he was just like some Food Network CGI.
If we'd only be so lucky. He's an actual human that lurks among us.
That's a real person walking around like that.
He actually got up one day and said, I'm going to frost the tips of my beard. And you know what? That's going to be my thing, and I'm going to do that for 20 years.
I saw
Yeah,
Brian Posehn a couple months ago, and all he did was rip on him for like 10 minutes.
Really?
I think they're from the same town or something.
Yeah, I haven't seen Posehn live, but I'm assuming it was good. I have 2 of his stand-up albums. He's good.
It was all right. I thought it'd be funnier, but just the funniest part was when he was just ripping on Guy Fieri.
It's because Poussin quit smoking pot, man.
Oh, he did?
Yeah. He had a Netflix special not too long ago. Well, it might be one that's been out for a while. It was The Fartist, and he goes into a big long bit about not smoking pot anymore.
I love all these tough guy comedians. They talk so much shit about smoking pot, smoking, and all that. They're like 5 years later, they're like totally like clean and sober, like trying to like reinvent themselves in a piss poor attempt.
Do you think it's reinventing themselves, or do you think they're just like me, where my body just said, "Oh, you're not fucking smoking anymore"?
Well, I mean, it's one thing to do that, but it's like when you like talk tough, like, oh, I'm going to be smoking till the day I die, and then like 2 years later, it's like, oh, well, I quit smoking because I had a baby, and fuck you, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck that. I grew up with my dad, and he had a butt hanging out of his mouth every fucking minute of the day. We didn't care. It smelled like Dad was home.
That's right.
Pretty much everyone smoked in the 80s, right?
Yeah.
I think pretty much everyone smoked from like as soon as cigarettes were invented up and through like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Now everyone's just eating vegan kale and...
Tell somebody in their 20s that used to be on a plane. People used to be able to smoke on planes, and they'd look at you crazy. Like, what?
In restaurants.
Everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, actually, you know, people in their 20s weren't ever around for smoking in bars either.
Yeah.
That stopped halfway through college.
Did I mention that I started again about a year ago, last February, actually?
Good job.
During the Super Bowl, started smoking again after a long, long time away.
What would make you want to start again?
Well, I'm glad you asked that, Jay.
Because he can't eat anymore, so he needs something to do.
No, this was before he could not eat.
Yeah, we moved out here to the sticks, the bigger sticks, because it is Illinois.
Wait,
so
didn't you move from a house that didn't have neighbors for like 2 miles?
Yeah, that's where I started smoking again, actually.
Oh, that's the dream.
Okay. I know that is I'm so jealous of that, actually.
You know what you don't consider though when you move someplace like that? You don't consider the wind. The wind is a horrible, horrible thing. But no, I started smoking again after 5 years of not smoking because my wife was going through a lung cancer scare.
So you were trying to speed it up?
No, I didn't.
You trying to catch up to her?
She did not know that I had started smoking again. She hadn't smoked in almost 10 years by then. No, I was hiding it from her. Where I work, there was no real ban on smoking in the plant, and you could stand at your machine and have a fucking butt hanging out of your mouth and be working. And I'm around all these guys who are smoking, and I'm sitting there going through like some real adult bullshit. And again, I'm a 12-year-old, so it was really hard. and I'm thinking, oh my God, this fucking could be real. I mean, what do I tell my daughter? Who takes care of my daughter while I have to go to work? And who gets her on the bus? I've got to be at work very early. And all this stress. And one of the guys I was working with, I was like, hey, give me one of those. And that's pretty much all it took. Then if you flash forward a couple years, they took me out of work on a stretcher because of some strange heart shit or whatever. And I'm like, oh yeah, fuck that. I was a dumbass to start smoking again. So I quit. And that was a February. That was a year until this Super Bowl between the Panthers and the Broncos last year. And we were at a bar watching the game. My wife is a huge Broncos fan. And I stepped outside and there were smokers out there. And I was like, hey, why don't you let me have one of those? And I'm back on them again. I wish there was like a big ending to that and everything, but no, I started smoking again.
That's probably next February. Seems like you're on a path here.
Yeah.
I hate Februaries. I was born in
It's
February.
Black History Month, that's why.
Oh, my birthday's coming up, the 22nd. I was born, George Washington's birthday. That's my birthday. But February for like the past, 46 years has been really shitty to me, so I could do without it. We don't need February. What the fuck is the point of February?
It is a strange month.
Yeah, why does it have to be so different? I mean, couldn't they have just taken 365 and divided it by 12 and thrown like an extra decimal into each fucking day at the end? I don't get it. Why it's got to be all, I got to count fucking how many days are in a month out on my knuckles.
Yeah, it is. I don't get why they didn't just take 2 of the 31-day months and give those to February.
Boom.
Problem solved.
Can't believe you were overlooked when you ran for office, Jay.
This is
fucking
unbelievable.
Brilliance like that.
That would be my executive order. February now is 30 days, motherfuckers.
Minimum.
Maybe.
I'd make all the 31 days combine and give them to February, so February could make up for all that fucking lost time it was slacking on the calendar.
February 34th.
That's like music to my ears. That would. It's the month that never ever ends.
See, that's what happens when you don't vote for me. Now you got Trump doing his stupid shit.
Not for long.
It's not going so well.
I
Who would have
saw him
thought?
today doing his little press car. He looks like he's about to die. He looks terrible.
I know it.
His eyes are like bright white, like they forgot to put the makeup on his eyes.
Yeah, he looks like he's about to have a stroke, and it's been about 20 days.
Yeah.
Well,
You know what I'd like to know? I don't know if anybody has the information for this. I'd like to know what percentage of smokers voted for Trump. It's talking about smoking. Because it seems like all of his voters are like those like blue collar, like factory, like just drunks at bars.
I
And
think
they're probably all
smokers are like, yeah, like those type of people. And then like the super rich seem to be smokers too.
Yeah.
Probably because they could afford to cure cancer.
But they don't, they smoke like in like their secret room in their house. They don't let anyone even know that they smoke.
Yeah, they have a parlor. I don't know what a parlor is, but I know smoking happens in there.
Yeah.
I just want to stand up for drunks in a bar real quick. I believe the current term that we prefer to be called is regulars.
Okay.
And I'm in a parlor. I'm in a house. I'm in an old house too, and this would have been the parlor that my recording studio and everything is in. And no smoking going on in here because the old lady kicked my ass. What are you clinking on there? What are you drinking?
That was some Knob Creek whiskey.
Ah, very nice. Very, very nice.
Whiskey, what are you, 50?
Well, I got too fat to drink beer. So I figured I could have like, a couple ounces of liquor, get just as drunk, and hopefully not gain a bunch of pounds.
Yeah, I'm at the point where who cares what I weigh?
Right. Yeah, I've brought it up numerous times, but at my age, I've been married for 25 years. I'm 46, and I am not super concerned about getting laid all the time anymore. So I'm like, who gives a fuck?
I think this CPA just destroyed my self-esteem in all ways, shape, and form. So now I'm just like self-conscious about everything.
Have you passed any of them yet?
No, I'm 0 for 2.
0 for 2? Oh.
I just got my grade. I got a 73.
What'd you need?
75. So that was 2 months of studying.
Now, was that the easy one or the hard one?
That was
medium
not
one?
the hardest one. Yeah, it was like the medium one.
No, you took that one twice, or you took 2 different ones?
I took two. I took the hardest one first, but I took it without like the study course.
Yeah.
Which is impossible. So I
Yeah.
got a 43. But I'm taking that again in 3 weeks with the study course. So we'll see. Good times. I'm loving life right now.
Oh, Jay, you know what I want to say? I listen. I never listen to the show, but except for unless I'm on it, and I don't have to listen to it because I'm on it. But last week I was listening to your episode this podcast, and the doc is really good on the show.
Yeah, the doc is good.
The first one I've heard bits and pieces of him, but I listened to most of it last week, and I think he's really good.
I mean, I've been friends with him for 30 years, so we got a good rapport going. Probably longer than 30 years now. That's insane. We have. Do you guys have any?
So how are we going to start making fun of Mark now that he's not here, or are we just not doing that today?
Well, I think the questions that were submitted are doing a good job of that.
Oh, okay. I figured as much.
Yeah, so that'll be covered.
Okay.
We got an email. If you guys want to do an email,
If John wasn't going to be on tonight, I was just going to do the show as Mark the whole time.
well, you could still do that.
The way he role plays, I was just going to be like, "Hey, I'm Mark, and this is what blah 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 blah." I was just going to say every sentence, but this is Mark.
All right, Brian, I'm Mark, and you are auditioning to be me on the show in my absence. Go.
Hey, so I'm afraid of the library because somebody stole books or something. I don't remember what the story was, and I'm too cheap to get water at the food court, and I forgot what the other thing was.
My kids.
My kids. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I don't know. Hey, I'm Mark. I don't know what funfetti is.
He's got kids. How does he not know what fun fucking fetty is?
He
thought
didn't know about the frosting or something. He thought it came with the frosting.
No, I didn't. Isn't funfetti frosting? And he thought it came with the cake.
I thought he thought the cake came with the frosting.
Well, yeah.
It was so stupid we don't even remember it.
Funfetti is the shit you sprinkle on the frosting after you put it on the cake. That's why it's funfetti.
No, but you could also bake it into the cake, like it's little like candy pieces.
Oh, right. He didn't know it came with. It didn't come with frosting.
Yeah, it was a frosting. Yeah. Anyways,
This
did you
is
say we have email?
Yes. So thebrinkofsanity@gmail.com. Lorenzo writes, "Hey guys, I've been bushwalking twice in the last few months, and I am surprised at the number of hotties that are also doing the same.
What's bushwalking?
I have no idea. It's like all the hot girls at a meeting agree that this is their activity of choice for the current year. Now I'm starting to think that the porn stereotype is true. Two guys walking through the bush, they see a girl in the distance off track. On closer inspection, she's there finger blasting herself, and they interrupt. The next thing you know, it's on like Donkey Kong. Any bushwalking stories? I don't
even know what bushwalking is.
I have no idea what bushwalking is. That's got to be an Australian thing.
Why are our only listeners from Australia?
I don't know. Both shows too.
Oh, Jay, I want to make a prediction right now that Carmelo is going to be the MVP of the All-Star game.
It would just to make Knicks fans even more bitter that it doesn't happen during the regular season.
Just to up his trade value a little, and then have him not get traded.
Oh, that goddamn team. Lorenzo writes, "Hey guys, it's time for a video game question. Mark and Bri, time to go for a piss. These days, we all crave the video games that we played while growing up, Commodore 64, NES, etc. In 30 years' time, I can't really see the same thing happening. Example, wanting to play the games of today. Those old games had a lot more replay value than the ones of today. Thoughts?"
Because you couldn't save them. That's why you had to just play it.
I told you
now you can just pick up anywhere you want.
Well, I just told you I just ordered a PlayStation with every Nintendo, Super Nintendo, and Genesis game on it, and you could save that at any point in the game. which is cool. But I think the replay value thing is because most of the games now are like playable movies. So like once you've played it, you've seen everything, and like when I beat a game now, I don't want to play it like ever again.
Yeah.
I disagree. There's been a few. I think it's more a matter of I love all the games from my childhood because that's when my brain was all still soft and gooey and acceptable to like love and nice things and things that made me happy. And I remember those, and I remember them fondly. I loved Dig Dug, and I've gone back and played Dig Dug and been sitting there playing Dig Dug, going, why in the fuck am I playing Dig Dug? Because I love it. So I don't know. I think people look back fondly on shit like Assassin's Creed and Grand Theft Auto and everything with some affection. I've gone back and played old PS1 games and been playing Mario Golf on an emulator on my computer when I'm like in between shit.
See, but those are games you can turn on and play for a little bit and turn off. Like, you play Contra, you beat the whole game in like 90 minutes. Like, what?
Or Tyson's Punch-Out. No, I get that.
Yeah, but like a newer game, like Tomb Raider or something, you don't say, hey, I'm just going to replay all 20 hours of Tomb Raider. Like, the games are so goddamn long, it kind of kills the replay value. You don't want to go through all that again.
Oh, I don't know. I would.
Really?
I'd go through and play Tomb Raider again. Not in one sitting or anything, but that's not usually my goal. Video games are a way to, kind of kick back and relax and escape from reality a little bit and tune everything out. And I'll immerse myself for 4 or 5 hours at a time. I could still kill Tomb Raider in a week.
I think it's just because this goddamn CPA is taking all my time. I only have like 30 minutes, so I want a linear game. I want to go on, beat a couple levels, and then jump back off. Because with my limited time now, if I start a game like that, I don't know where the hell I am or what I'm doing when I come back to it like 4 days later.
N+. Have you ever played or heard of N+ or N++?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
It's a little like 8-bit looking ninja game. You're a stick figure. They're incredibly tricky mazes that you just have to get from the start to the finish. There's infinite levels. You can make your own levels, and it's something you can hop on and play. It's been on Xbox Live and the PlayStation Store forever. It was a little indie game, a little PC indie game that just fucking blew up and everything. But if you're looking for something like that where you've got 30 minutes and you want to have some frustrating fucking time fucking going, God damn it, I hate this game, and keep going. Yeah, N+.
I got the Mega Man Legacy Collection, so I've just been doing that. Right before the show I went on, I beat 3 guys and then turned it off.
God, I haven't done Mega Man since I was a little kid.
It's hard. Andrew said that bush is Australian for what you call the woods. Well,
you know how many times I've been walking through
nobody
the woods?
walks in the woods here.
Well, no, I used to do that all the time.
Now there's no woods left.
Yeah, they're all gone. They've all been torn up.
Who asked this question?
Lorenzo,
do you know why I don't go walking in the bush like that? Is because I'm tired of trying to walk through the woods and appreciate nature and kind of commune with the oneness of the earth, and I just keep tripping over girls that are out there finger blasting themselves.
it's a problem.
It is a problem.
These whores.
These fucking whores need to stay home.
I just like finger blast, and I don't know. Lorenzo, thank you so much for finger blast, and I've never heard it put exactly like that. And I picture some girl out there like dressed in some 60s campy fucking sci-fi movie spacesuit with her shit pulled to the side, and she's like pointing her finger up in there with her thumb up like it's a laser gun, just going pew, 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 pew.
She's watching like 2 squirrels fight over an acorn in the middle of the woods.
Right, communing.
She's keeping her pinky up because she's classy.
I'm not no dirty finger blaster.
Not one of those low-class woods finger blasters.
Yeah, I dressed for it. I dressed for this.
I brought my own blanket to sit on. I don't sit on the dirt. Lorenzo writes, hey guys, it's the start of another school year here, and I just got talking to my 9-year-old niece. Turns out the school has removed all the chairs from her classroom as some sort of trial for the rest of the school. I assume it's similar to the stand-up desk craze sweeping offices worldwide. Her dad, my brother, is pretty pissed about it. They have a feedback session next week, which will be interesting. How would you have gone at school having to stand all day? I don't think that would have worked out so well. Can you guys imagine standing for like 7 hours at school?
That would kind of suck.
No.
I don't know. We all had to sit on horses the whole time I was in school. So maybe getting down and getting a little stretch every once in a while wouldn't have been so bad. Because you got to lean way over the saddle and shit just to even see the stuff that's on your desk, because they were like the desks everybody still has to this day, except we had to sit on horseback.
And the tails of the horses in front of you kept flicking you in the face.
Right, and they don't hold all their defecation and urination in, all right, while they're in class. They don't know they're horses, so they just kind of go, and it's distracting. I had a shitty education.
Although I did learn how to put on hooves.
Yes, and I'm surprised you pronounced that properly too in the old English manner.
Hoofs.
Hoofers.
No, hoof. It's hooves. It's not hoofs. I'm sorry, I can't get past hoofs here. Hold on a second. It's just no. I'm trying to think of something comparable that people say that's like hoofs, and octopi. There's another one. Oh, that's not the plural, and that's not correct. It's fucking octopuses. Google it. I'm not lying on that.
I
one.
just I'm kind of dumbfounded that that's one of your pet peeves. How many times in your life are people mispronouncing the plural of octopuses?
Yeah, what do you go to a lot of Detroit Red Wing games?
I run into it, I guess, more than most people would.
Where do you live where people are talking about octopus that much?
Well, no, I have the internet. And I've actually had to correct someone where I work. I can't remember why it was brought up, but somebody said, it was a bunch octopi, threw out octopi for a bunch of octopus trying to sound educated, and I had to school them that no, it's octopuses. In the same manner I thought octopi. I'm like, it's octopi. But somebody got real shitty with me one time and made me feel small and fat and scared because I said octopi. So it stuck with me. So motherfuckers, you say it right too.
Did you go to your safe space?
I don't have.
What's a safe space? I always see that word. What is it? What does that even mean?
It's a place where there's no judgment.
My safe space is drunk.
There's no negativity in safe spaces.
I don't even know what that means.
I don't. People get offended about everything. I don't even know what you would do or say in a safe space, because the people who go to safe spaces are the people that are offended by literally everything. So I don't even know what you would. I can't imagine what you'd even talk about.
That, and I need to feel uncomfortable. I'm so used to feeling just vaguely uncomfortable and kind of anxious all the time that if you took that away from me, I'd be a fucking wreck.
Well, I mean, there is no safe space in real life, so I mean, you need to just deal with it. Some people are negative and shitty. Sometimes you get on the subway yesterday at my stop and the seat is covered in literal shit.
Oh, yeah, outstanding.
Yes. Welcome to New York. Your morning commute to work. Your seat's covered in shit. And yeah, that's my life.
Did you get off the train and wait for the next one?
Luckily, I was able to run off and run into the next car right before the doors shut. But a couple other people tried that and did not make it. And then the next day, I saw somebody sitting in that same exact seat, and I just had a self-satisfied smile on my face the whole way to work.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't sat on a subway in...
How do you know it was the same one?
Well, it's the same seat in the same car, because I always stand in the same spot when I'm
But,
waiting.
I mean, was it the same train number?
I don't know. I don't look at the train numbers.
I mean, there's more than one train, Jay. You know that, right?
You know somebody sat in it.
I'm sure somebody did.
It was probably the same train. For the purpose of this story, I looked at the number, and it was the same train.
All right.
Lorenzo writes, "Hey, I didn't even see this email. Hey guys, we are in a safe space now. Give us the unfiltered version of the Oakley incident." Nobody knows the unfiltered version of the Oakley incident. Actually, we should read that one on the next show because I don't think anybody here wants to talk about Charles Oakley. Write that to the Nick's email, Lorenzo.
When's the next show? Next show. I want to be on it.
Sunday.
Oh, shit. I don't think I'll be home Sunday.
Oh.
Maybe the next one after that.
Yeah, we do every Sunday.
Oh, all right.
Lorenzo writes, actually, that one's for Mark, so I'll save that for next week. Okay, that's it for emails.
Can I ask or address Lorenzo one last time before we
Sure,
before we
you're
move
gonna
on?
destroy him like you did our poor
No, that's the thing. I'm not destroying anybody. I don't know how I've gotten that. You shit on two people for legitimate reasons, and then all of a sudden you're a dick.
You shit on someone every time you come on the show, and all of a sudden you're a shitter.
No, I don't. I've not shit on someone every single time I've been on the show. We had a delightful time with what was her name, Rosa,
Yes.
at the Staples by the Staples Center.
Yes, when we called her for Taco Tuesdays.
Yeah, I had a lovely time, and nobody got shit on in that episode.
Yeah, but she was not a listener, so it doesn't count.
All right, that's fine. Rosa, if you're listening, fuck you. But Lorenzo, I have to ask because it's seriously, you've got me really thinking about this, like where these woods might be, where all these girls are out there finger blasting themselves. And if that's the case, okay, if there's women out there pleasuring themselves in the woods, my query to you, and heck, to you, Brian, and you, Mark, or you, Jason. Sorry, man. I'm like looking at Skype names on here. My question to you would be: Have you ever, tossed one off in the woods? Anyone?
No.
No, I have not. You know, when I had woods, I think I was before the tossing off age. I probably didn't even know how to toss off. I'm just thinking, what if this is a big, like, well-kept secret in Australia where women go to the woods and finger blast and they just don't talk about it because they don't want everyone moving there.
Yeah, and taking that prime finger blast in real estate.
Right. They don't want us dirty Americans going in there and talking to their finger blasting women.
Chopping down their woods and building houses.
Lorenzo, message. Get in the chat room or whatever if you're listening. I want to know if you've ever tossed one off in the woods, because I'll say right here on the Brink of Sanity broadcast that I have numerous times masturbated to completion in the woods. Just something about it. It's like I don't have a thing for public places, but it feels public because it's not inside your house, the room closed and the lights all off and crying softly into your pillow afterwards. It's still out there in the wide open, and there's just something dirty and nasty about it. Now, it's not something that I do now, but back when I realized that I could do that for the first time with my dick, I did it a lot. So I have, and I'm proud to admit it. Any of the rest of you out there that are proud to admit that, yeah, you've rubbed one out in the woods, I think you ought to let Jay and the Brink of Sanity show know.
Were you paranoid that somebody was going to come into the woods?
Oh, fuck no. I was masturbating. I went someplace where I knew I had a clear view all around me, and anybody I would have known was coming before they could have ever seen what I was doing to my poor little dingus.
All right. That's interesting. The more you know.
Yeah. Oh, and all pure imagination too, kids. I wasn't using any visual references or anything else. Just eyes about half closed and just using the old mind movies.
The Spank Bank.
Yeah. Miss Blanco, if you're out there. Oh, the things I would have done to you if I were not a fifth grader.
You see, that's where I don't know about you, Bri, but there was always porno mags in the woods by me.
Yeah.
Nobody knows how they got there. Everyone I know.
There's this rock that's behind the elementary school I went to, and there's like a bunch of trees around it, and we used to climb on the rock, and there's always Playboys there, like next to it, like buried like to the side, like on the back side of it. And we'd always go there like after school, like once we found it, like every like twice a week, we'd go there, be like 10 guys sitting there, be like, oh, is there a new one?
Everyone I know growing up had a woods behind their house, and they all had porno mags in them.
Yeah. Did you see Playboy's coming back out with nudie
Probably because they've sold about 5 issues since they got
turns
rid
out
of them.
nobody does read it for the articles.
Who would have thought?
Yeah.
I'm just amazed that that's still like. Why would you buy a nudie magazine at this point?
Yeah.
I guess somebody's buying it. They're still like they have those.
Unless somebody famous was going to be in it, there's really no like just some average girl. I mean, I could see plenty of hot naked girls in the internet.
Andrew said there was always pornos in the bush near him too. See, so
We have that in common.
yeah. Yeah, they have those at the subway stations. They have those little booths where they have like candy bars and water and stuff. And there's still always porno mags in there. And I'm like, for buying a porno mag is bad enough now. Like, can you imagine buying it at like a crowded subway station? I mean, who's doing that?
Probably the guy who shit all over the seat there on the subway yesterday.
Yeah, that's true. He's probably a subway porno mag purchaser.
Yeah,
and he probably wasn't even ashamed. He probably walked right up and he's like, "Hey, is that the newest episode of Gash back there? Throw me that one."
Oh, no, I already have that one.
Yeah, the one that, but the barely legal? Yeah, toss me that real quick. I got a long train ride.
Let's do some Facebook questions.
All right.
Jason writes, can Jason please tell me what the deal with his work paying for school? Like, what is the advantage? Does he get time off or does he pay half? The deal is I'm pretty much an indentured servant now because they pay for my school, but I have to pay it back if I leave in less than 2 years. So that's where they get you. Jason writes, how can I learn to do taxes? You go to tax school. You go to a business. You go to a business school and you major in tax. What education did Jay get to become a failed video editor, and how much did it cost him in all? Well, I went to undergrad as a communications major with a focus on radio and TV, and it cost me, I don't know, 30 grand.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm still paying it off. Down to the last 9 grand. Should be paid off by the time I'm, I think, 53. Really looking forward to that. It's gonna be a happy day. And final question: did Jason have you take out loans? And if he did, what was the interest and how long did it take him to pay it off? Did Jason have you did Jason have you take out loans?
See, this is where I would get furious, but I'm calm. It's all good.
Did you mean Jason? Did you have to take out loans, or did somebody named Jason force me to take out loans? So there's 2 very different answers there. Well, anyway, I'll answer it as if I took out loans. How long did it take me to pay off? To be determined. It's been, my loan started in 2001. It's 2017, and I'm not even close to paying it off yet. So there you go. Let's say I'm on pace for like 30 years. Rosero writes, I keep hearing about this Battlefield 1 thing as a person who wants to try console multiplayer games. Which is the best? Well, Bri is the expert in console multiplayer games.
The one that you like is the best.
Okay. John?
Oh no, I'm an isolationist and a hermit. I don't play multiplayer online games.
All right, Gears of War it is. Rosero writes, guys, why is it that people can't see Trump is trying to do what is best for America and Americans?
Because he's not.
Because people got their goddamn libtard blinders on.
EPA is a scam. That's why
I watched his press conference today on my lunch break, and he was just like, somebody said, were the thing about with Flynn, he's like, were the leaks real and was the news real? And he goes, yeah, the leaks were real, but the news was fake. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? So the fact that they leaked something was real, but what they leaked was fake. And then he said, I don't think Flynn did anything wrong. And nobody asked him, well, then why the hell did you make him resign?
Right. Innocent people don't usually quit their jobs.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not going to touch any Trump with a 10-foot pole.
Rosaire writes, you got something else?
No, I was just the only reason is if I get going, then I get all worked up, and then that's. I'm trying to be a kinder, gentler John in this episode.
Wow.
Okay.
Rosaire writes, are you guys scared to tell people you like Trump like I am for fear someone may try to physically harm you? Don't believe me? Walk through New York City with a Trump hat on and see what happens.
You know what's annoying? Well, there's a lot of annoying things, but like, I had this discussion / argument with somebody at work because there's this guy who fixes our computer who makes our database. He's a Republican, so he was in doing our stuff like a week before the inauguration, and I was like, "Hey, Steve, you going to the?" Just kind of joking with him. I was like, "You going to the inauguration?" And he's like, "Nah, I wish, you know." And I was like, "Oh, I'm sure, you know, you get a ticket. There's plenty of seats available." And so then I went into one of the lawyers in my office who like hates Trump more than anything in the world, and I was like, "Oh, Steve has an extra ticket for the inauguration. You want to go with him?" And she's like, "He's not really going, is he?" And I'm like, "He probably wants to because he's a Republican." And she's like, "I can't believe that." So this whole notion of like, because you know somebody, from the perspective of this attorney who, you know, is a liberal and hates Trump and all this stuff, like this idea that like because I know you can't possibly like Trump or have voted for Trump, like it's just so stupid. Like if people like Trump, that's fine, but this whole idea of like, well, I know that person, I can't believe there's no way he would vote for Trump. Well, maybe he did.
Right.
Does
Or
that
the
make any
people who are
sense?
like, oh, you voted for Trump, I'm going to unfriend you.
But yeah, like, oh, you couldn't have voted for Trump because I know you. Like that has anything to do with anything.
I guess you don't know them as
Yeah.
good as you thought. Stupid.
You were always so well spoken, and you were very quiet and never rude. I cannot believe that you actually like Trump.
Well, it's like, I can't believe you didn't vote for like the worst Democratic candidate in the history of the Democratic Party. So I don't know. Hillary sucked.
I can't believe that you all still think that your individual vote counts for jack shit in a general election.
People only voted for Trump because, well, they voted for Trump for a few reasons, but one of the reasons they voted for Trump is because Trump is just a loudmouth asshole who says anything he wants with no repercussions. So now that he's president, all these people who voted for him think they could do the same thing. Like they could just walk up to Muslims and be like, "Fuck you, get out of here," and you know,
Right.
tell black people to go fuck off and stuff like that. And it's not the way the world works. But all these idiots think that like, well, Trump did it, so I can do it. That's going to be the long-lasting effect of Trump. Not all the shit he fucks up while he's doing, while in the 6 months that he's going to be president. It's this lasting effect of people who are just going to think that they can say or do whatever they want without any repercussions because Trump did it.
Yeah, there's a lot of stupid people there. Be like, well, if somebody rich and powerful does it, I could do it too. No,
Yeah.
no, you can't.
Trump's got my back. Trump doesn't got your. Trump doesn't have your back.
Right.
Trump's already bailed on half the stuff he promised you, you morons.
Yeah, Trump managed to pull out all the retards that the internet didn't pull out to begin with. Yeah.
Right.
Ones are like, well, I don't trust none of that electronical shit. Oh, but there's a man who speaks his mind.
And he's smart. He's been saying for 2 years that everybody's against him. So anytime anyone says anything bad, he's like, well, it's fake news. They're just making that shit up. Trust me, it's fake news.
Yeah. He said the other day, any polls that say anything bad about him are fake.
Yeah. It's literally turning into 1984.
Yeah, it's insane.
He said today that he told somebody he won the biggest landslide electoral college vote ever.
Except for the last 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. He was like, well, I meant Republican. And they're like,
I mean,
because they quoted Obama's numbers.
Was it Lyndon Johnson beat Barry Goldwater like 48 states to 2 or something like that? I think that would probably be a bigger one than Trump.
W got elected by a bigger electoral margin than Trump did.
The second
And
time.
the first time it went before the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't want to say it but I'm going to say it real quick, as quickly as I possibly can. For those of you that really are, I've actually watched, like, on fucking social media of all fucking retarded places, people truly become, who have been friends for years, become not friends, and people like fucking hate each other over just posting political shit on Facebook. And I just wanted to address all of you out there really quick because, we're having our fun with Trump and he is a fucking moron. But even if he gets impeached, even if he dies, even if him and Paul Ryan and Pence all fucking get on an airplane and crash, it's not going to change anything. If you want to change anything, shut Facebook the fuck off and get off your fat dead ass and go out and start trying to change shit on a local level. Because if you are tired of the way everything is today and the way that the world is today, and you're disgusted and sad and you need a safe space, then fucking quit crying about it on Facebook and go out and do something about it, because it will take 20 or 30 years to change the fucking mess we've made. Your kids are going to have to continue what you started voting wise and putting people in office that should be and imposing term limits. It's going to take that long. You're not going to change it by posting fucking Bernie Sanders dank memes on your fucking feed.
Are you saying that creating hashtags isn't going to solve the problem?
It really isn't. And I'm the worst hypocrite. I'm all over that shit. I love fucking around with people about it and everything, but I at least don't sit there and truly believe that I'm going to change shit by doing that. I'm just tweaking some noses, but there's people that get really fucking vehement about that shit.
Yeah, people get riled up when they're like, you didn't retweet that. It's the only way things are going to change is if you retweet shit.
Yeah, look at what tweeting changed. We have Donald Trump for president. So there you go. Thanks, Twitter.
Yeah.
Thanks a fucking lot, Twitter. Way to change the landscape of the way we live.
Eros writes, Jason, do you plan on having kids or even any?
Oh,
Not
I'm
that,
sorry.
not that you would.
I live in the Midwest. All right. I live in the worst state in the union, the most corrupt state in the union, Illinois. It's the fucking worst. It's bottom of the barrel. We give our lottery winners vouchers and IOUs now if you win the lottery. They can't even fucking pay it. And I had the worst education in the world. I told you all I had to sit on a fucking horse at a desk. Mm-hmm. But I can form a coherent sentence when I'm typing something into a keyboard. For fuck's sake.
Wait, that was true? You really had to sit on a horse?
Yeah, it was. You threw me by asking for honesty. Who does that anymore? God damn it, Bri.
If it wasn't for my horse, I never would have got into college.
Yes. Oh, I miss you. I miss you, honey. That was her name. Beautiful Palomino.
Rest of the question, not that you would be doing the world a benefit by spreading your gene pool. Thank you, Eros.
Very nice, yes.
I do want to have one kid.
Oh, don't have an only child.
Don't have an only? What, you're saying you should have multiple kids?
At least you should have two, and then quit at that. But only children, in my experience, are usually just the worst douchebags ever. Sorry, anybody. Oh, Bri, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I wouldn't have known you're so well spoken. I wouldn't have known that you're an only child.
Andrew, John's horse is fake news.
I don't know whether to believe you or not.
Alternative facts. Eros writes, movie and series you guys are most excited for. Mine, Marvel Avengers, Infinity Wars, and Game of Thrones. I don't think there's a Game of Thrones movie. I agree with Avengers. I also want to see Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Yes.
That's about it. Spider-Man, maybe? Spider-Man?
Well, that new annoying one with Robert Downey Jr. where he picks some nerd off the street to be Spider-Man?
Yeah.
Oh, God. When I saw that trailer, when I saw Rogue One, there was like 15 trailers, and it was like 15 movies. It was basically should have just been 15 movies to avoid seeing. And it was the Guardians of the Galaxy thing you were talking about. It was the Fast and Furious 48. It was like everything, just all this shit.
I do not understand the Fast and Furious franchise.
Yeah, how did that fucking happen?
The only one that looked good was the World War II movie with directed by the guy who makes all the Batman movies.
Snyder?
No, Christopher Nolan. He
Nolan.
made some World War II movies everyone's talking about.
I'm glad
It was
they're
the
making a
only-
World War II movie because that topic hasn't been covered yet.
Well, that was the only movie that looked decent out of the 15 that they showed.
Well, you're wrong about Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, they showed the what's his name? The X-Men guy who's like 75 years old.
Oh, the third.
And he was like
Wolverine
a
movie?
little. Yeah,
Logan.
X-Men. It's like X-Men meets Mr. Mom.
It's The Last
You
of
fed
Us.
the baby Wolverine chili?
It's the Last of Us video game made into a Wolverine movie.
I'm excited about House of Cards. That's going to premiere on Netflix with a new season this March.
I'm excited. I just found out Review's coming back next month for its final season. I'm excited for that.
What's that show with that annoying-looking douchebag that ruins everything?
Oh, that's vague.
No, it's called Something Ruins Everything.
Oh, I don't know.
Adam
What's it
ruins
on?
everything. I think it's called Adam Ruins Everything. It's the most annoying-looking guy on the planet.
The famous guy?
I don't know if Adam's famous or not.
What's
He
it on?
ruins everything.
Yeah. True TV, maybe? I don't know. Type in Adam Ruins Everything.
Oh, here it is. Adam Ruins Everything. I'm looking at my TV guide.
He's the
here.
most intolerable looking person on the planet. I couldn't even watch a show with a guy like that.
Adam Ruins Everything.
Okay. Liam writes, have you seen the New York City subway no pants thing? I was getting honey watching all those girls in Union Square with...
He's so honey.
If you're going to type like that, I'm going to read it like that. In Union Square with panties next time, I feel like getting a 4K cam and recording. Do you think anyone would stop me? I mean, they want attention, right?
Whoa, that's borderline rapey sounding. That's really kind of got a rapey vibe. I'm sorry, my bad, but woo.
Every
Grab her by the
year,
pussy, baby. Grab her by the pussy.
Yeah.
every year, I don't get noticed when that day is, and I end up getting caught off guard on the subway in the middle of it. It is pretty cool, but it's hard not to gawk. First time I saw it was like 6 or 7 years ago. I had no idea what was happening. Liam writes, how much is the rent in Astoria, Queens, and the best bang for buck place to rent in New York City? Rent's going up a lot in Astoria. It's probably like $2,000 a month.
Wow.
If you want a one bedroom, yeah, probably like 18.
Wow.
Best bang for your buck, I guess it depends how far out of the city you want to live. You're not getting a good bang for your buck anywhere near the city anymore.
Everybody wants to go to that shithole New York City.
If you want to live like a 40-minute subway ride out, you can get a bang for your buck in like...
Stamford, Connecticut.
yeah.
Oh, no, not really. That's like the most expensive town in the...
I don't know, Flushing or Prospect Park or... I don't know. There's nothing within like 30, 40 minutes of the city anymore. Liam writes, why don't you dudes have tattoos?
I have one.
Did I
Do
know that?
tell.
Oh, yeah, I know. Yeah, I knew you had that.
Yeah, I have an eye on my back.
A giant one or a small one? I mean,
It's in like a tribally like design kind of thing. It's probably the whole thing's probably the size of your fist. Or my
what
fist.
about location? Middle of back, right shoulder?
Yeah, my upper back in between my shoulders. Over and right in the middle, like over my spine.
Wow, what prompted that?
I've just always had a thing for eyes. And I had somebody kind of friend of mine's girlfriend, now wife, girlfriend at the time was drawing, and we were kind of just sitting around, and I was like, hey, draw me something. And she was kind of sketching it out. And I was like, oh, we kind of was just screwing around drinking one night. And I was like, because I was always talking about getting something tattooed, and kind of started working on it. And I was like, oh, I like that. So she drew it up for me, and I kind of kept it in my wallet for like a year until I finally got the nerve to go do it.
Andrew wants to know if it's a tramp stamp.
No, it's on the upper Upper part of my back, not the tramp stamp area.
Here in the Midwest, we call that a bitch hitch.
I just call it over the ass tattoo. I think that sounds funnier.
Yeah, I want an OAT.
I have a very low pain threshold, and I'm too big of a pussy to get a tattoo.
And the whole tattoo thing, like I always wanted to get another one, but now I'm just so fucking sick of tattoos that I really don't want one.
I've always wanted one, and I am waiting now to get my first one, and it will be administered to me by a fellow that I lost a fantasy football bet with.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, his name is Ray. Thank God it's just Ray. But we made a bet at the beginning of the season that whoever finished better than the other got to tattoo his name on the loser's back because we have access to tattoo equipment.
That sounds healthy.
Yeah, well, like I said, I'm glad that it's Ray, and his name is just Ray because it's going to go on my back shoulder, the back of my shoulder where I can never ever fucking see it. And people were sending me suggestions too and shit, saying, "Well, here's what you could cover it up with, or do this." And I'm like, no, it'll always stay there as a reminder about making bets. And when anybody asks, if I have my shirt off, which never happens, who's Ray? What's that? It's like it just means that I was way worse than somebody else at fantasy football one year. But that's going to be I'm going to do that live too when it happens, so you can all hear me get hepatitis C.
I'd like to be a tattoo artist, and then if somebody walked into my shop and said, "Hey, give me a neck tattoo," I would say, "Okay." And I would just put them in my chair, and then I would just slice their jugular vein.
You'd be the Sweeney Todd of tattoo artists.
I'd be like Dexter. I'd be doing the world a favor here.
Yeah, I have yet to see a neck tattoo, a single neck tattoo. Now, I know people who are tattooed over like 70% or more of their body. They're just into that. And their shit kind of creeps up into their neck and everything. That's all right. But like, one of the guys I worked with back in my early formative years, in my 20s, the Bulls, of course, were doing so super well back then. I think they had some kid named Jordan playing for them.
I heard he was all right.
And he came in after they won their first championship. Every time there is an awkward silence, a gay baby is born.
I think that's thing cutting out.
Yeah, your audio is getting shitty, so we were waiting for it to stabilize.
Me or him?
John's.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
It's all right. I think it's back.
Is it better now?
Yeah, it's back.
Oh, well, the guy just came in with just a Bulls logo tattooed on his neck, about the size of a $50. And that was my first exposure to a really classy neck tattoo. And yeah, I'm with Bri. Slit their throats, put them out of their misery. Don't let them infect any more of the gene pool, because they got at least 7 or 8 kids at home.
There's a guy in the NBA who has a picture of his baby tattooed on his neck. Like the front of his neck, like where your Adam's apple is.
Good spot.
It's really, really freaky looking. Let's see. Next question. Ron writes, do you guys hate vegans as much as I do? Arrogant fucks kind of reminds me of liberals and Hillary supporters. I don't hate vegans. I hate vegans who kind of look at you in disgust.
Impose their...
Yeah. Kind of like
evangelical
vegans.
I mean,
I feel that way about everything. Religious people or, basically anybody who, like, I believe in this and I'm going to judge you if you believe in that.
Yeah.
Ron writes, why is Bry so poor? Someone even compare his net worth to that of some minorities. Did his college degree was any use to him?
What did I say? I was poor.
Bry owned a boat and a hot tub as of like 2 years ago.
I still have my hot tub.
So he's doing way better than I am.
Yeah, when did I say I was poor?
Probably just compared to Mark.
Oh. I'm poor because I gamble and I lose too much.
I mean, everyone's poor compared to Mark, though.
Well, yeah.
But he has to walk 2 miles when he gets off fucking work, doesn't he?
He does. I can't believe he doesn't get one of his chauffeurs to pick him up.
Yeah, you don't have enough money to fucking you're walking.
I'm surprised he just
I don't
doesn't-
know. Just Bri, don't let the man keep you down like that. Don't let anybody wealth shame you.
Ron writes, do you guys know anybody with a college degree that is useless? Plenty.
Yeah, two people on the show.
My personal trainer that works at Crunch Fitness, my gym, has a BA in liberal arts, said it was the worst decision of his life. Well, liberal arts is a dumb decision. I'm going to major in nothing. Can I give you guys $30,000 to have no major? I mean, you got to pick a smart major. And then you got to, like, apply it. There's a lot of steps. I mean, I failed on, like, step one.
Hey, hang on. I'm taking notes. Taking notes. Slow down. I'm taking notes here.
Life Lessons by Jay. Alan writes, did you see Trump press conference? He's legit crazy. My God, I feel sorry for you guys in America. Yeah, we talked about that a little earlier. It's a scary thing. So DeVos wants schools to teach the 10 Commandments, have Bible in classes, and recognize Easter and Christmas, remove secular sex education textbooks from schools. Is that true? I wouldn't be surprised.
That's the thing. I don't know if that's true or not. I've been too lazy to look into that.
His whole cabinet's so insane, like that could be true. So I don't even know.
Let's just, hey, for the sake of we're on the internet right now, it's true. Let's go with it.
Okay,
She wants to shove God down your kids' throats.
I don't get the whole, like, I believe in something and that means I want your kids to believe in that.
That means everyone
too.
has to believe in it.
Yeah. It's like, why do you have to force that? Go to your church and just be cool with that. I don't know. I don't get people. Alan writes, will this impact on Mark and his kids? Will he provide sex education to his kids? Plus, Jay, will you just move abroad and have kids? It's looking more and more likely that I should just leave the country. Apparently, we have a big following in Australia. Maybe the show will pick up if I move there.
Yeah, there you go.
Andrew writes, why is Bri a Pittsburgh Penguins fan?
I'm not a Pittsburgh Penguins fan.
There you go.
When did I ever say I was?
You heard it here first, Andrew.
Yeah.
Andrew
Maybe
writes,
that's why they thought you were poor.
Yeah,
Maybe.
could be. Your team doesn't even exist anymore, right?
That's right. And we're trying to get your team. The only team worse than the Whalers over the last 20 years, the Islanders, and our governor's trying to get them to move to Hartford.
Well, they're going to be homeless in 2 years. You might be able to get them. Andrew writes, you know what? As soon as you guys get them, then they'll be good.
No, they won't. They can't even. They stole. Hartford stole. We had a minor league team in New Britain, which is like 20 minutes from Hartford and like 2 towns over from me. It's been there for like 30 years, and some guy in Hartford like stole the team and moved them to Hartford, and they with no stadium, no plan or anything, and they had to build a minor league stadium which holds like 100 people in like 4 months, and they couldn't do it. And like it's been a year and a half, and the thing still isn't finished. So the team played on the road the whole time last year, and they want to bring a major league hockey team to Connecticut. They couldn't even move a minor league hockey team to Hartford.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Jay, instead of wasting all that money getting your girlfriend wine and chocolates, you should have just given her a Brink t-shirt, and if she played her cards right, she could have had a bonus Knicks shirt too.
That's a pretty good idea.
Well, there's always next year.
Why don't you drink wine instead of whiskey?
I feel like I get a hangover about 30 minutes after drinking wine.
And because he urinates standing up like a man.
Yeah, wine doesn't really do it for me. I had wine yesterday because we went out to dinner.
Wine makes me crazy.
I got really happy for about an hour, and then when I went to go to bed, I was like, oh, I'm hungover. That's great.
It dries you out, that's for sure. If I drink like a lot of white wine, it's like 10 times worse than when I drink like rum and Coke.
Yeah.
It just go like berserk. But then if I drink red wine, I think red wine is like what people on ecstasy usually feel. Because I get like really, because when I drink red wine, I get like, I feel like I'm like 200 degrees and then I'm like super horny. If I have like 3 glasses of red wine, I just like, I feel like that's probably what people on ecstasy are supposed to be feeling.
I always kept a bottle of wine in our apartment in my bedroom that had cockroaches and rats because I'm classy. When is Jay moving to Australia? When I get out of debt.
When he gets a passport.
I got a passport for the first time.
Oh, you did?
I did. Finally did. I don't know if I need a visa or not. Okay. Last time John was on the show, he corrected me and went on a long explanation after I used the word forums instead of forum.
Uh-oh.
But in his old ad he made for the Stephen Cliff show that he used to play during Brink, he used the word forums in that. I'm demanding an apology or an explanation. And I think as I read that, John left the room for a minute. Awesome.
Conveniently.
Conveniently. For Valentine's Day, did Bryce spoil his girlfriend by letting her out of the house for 1 hour?
No.
Andrew's saying you said you were a Penguins fan.
Oh, I don't remember ever saying that.
He's calling you a liar.
I
Any funny Valentine's Day present or date fail stories?
just the blackout at the bean pot. I don't know if that's a date fail.
Yeah, that's episode 3 of the podcast. That was probably the biggest fail we did. That was like a day-long fail. I don't know
That's the best Valentine's Day ever.
I don't know if I told this one. When I was dating Karen, it was when Family Guy was on, and we were really obsessed with Family Guy. And I called from a Valentine's Day dinner to make sure my roommate was recording the episode. John?
Yes.
Andrew just called you out for saying the word forums on your show promo instead of forum after you called him out for doing the same thing.
Okay. Well, in the interest of full disclosure, if you had been calling my name for a couple of seconds there, I slipped off to go pee. Now I'm back and feeling better than ever. And I addressed this on the Facebook page there at the Brink of Sanity. He wanted either an explanation or an apology, and I believe I gave him both when I said the simple phrase, "I'm sorry, I drink a lot."
All right. And do you have any Valentine's Day present or date fail stories?
Myself?
Yes.
Oh, God, I haven't celebrated I've been married for 25 years. We don't celebrate that shit. It's been years and years and years.
Well, that means you had 21 years to fuck it up and have embarrassing stories.
Actually, the most fucked up thing that I have done lately is on Valentine's Day. Well, you know, I do the little music show and everything, and I do requests. So it just so happened a request fell on Valentine's Day that was the band I was telling you before we actually started the show proper. It was Hooray for the Riff Raff, and it's just this weird, quirky little bluegrass band that would just sound like everybody else who's trying to kind of do that thing, except their singer is this female singer, and she's fucking outstanding. But I didn't plan on any like lovey Valentine show. But I realized that I was going to do that with a female singer, and I'm like, well, it is Valentine's Day, and I super celebrated Groundhog Day on the show, so I need to find something. So I think the biggest mistake I have made was I grabbed a copy off of my bookshelf of The Secret Diary of Laura Palmer, the Twin Peaks book that was when Twin Peaks was peaking, and who killed Laura Palmer and all. This was her secret diary that they printed up. And I just read random excerpts between tracks. And I had forgotten because Twin Peaks was on when I was in my early 20s. I had forgotten how graphic and 50 Shades of Grey, The Secret Diary of Laura Palmer was. But just like throw in a bunch of cocaine and ghosts and shit. So that's, I guess, my biggest Valentine's Day regret. Before that, it was probably when I gunned down all those gangsters. In Chicago. I feel real bad about that one, too. But I was young.
Oh, freshman year of college, me and 8 other dudes went to see the Leonardo DiCaprio, Romeo and Juliet in the movie theaters.
Oh yeah, I remember that. We had a free. We saw it for free.
It was still terrible, terrible thing to do.
Sneak preview thing or something.
Yeah, I don't know why we did that. I don't know how we got so many other guys to go.
Great soundtrack to a movie, though.
Yeah, yeah.
I will get. I have the Romeo and Juliet soundtrack, but yeah, a sausage party at Leo DiCaprio's fucking Romeo and Juliet. That's what the redhead who played Juliet? Who is that? Homeland.
Kate Winslet? I mean,
Yeah,
no.
My So-Called Life.
The girl from that Showtime show now.
Yeah, Homeland.
Yeah, Homeland. Yeah, she's got a butt chin, red hair.
Yeah, I don't know. Cute girl who took 15 years off between My So-Called Life and her new show. Mark writes, can you guys not have a 20-minute rant about how much you hate one of our listeners, forcing us to apologize next show? So far, so good.
Mark?
Claire Danes.
Claire
yes,
Danes.
thank you very much, Claire Danes.
Where did Mark go on vacation that he can still chime in?
Florida.
Florida?
He's keeping it low budget this time, staying in the country.
Oh.
Maybe next month when he goes on his next vacation, he'll step it up a little. If Trump issued an executive order declaring death by firing squad to those who throw their cigarette butts on the ground as if they're some special littering privileges for smokers, would you become a Trump supporter?
No. That wouldn't swing it for me. But I bet Mark's going to have a story about that when he comes back.
I would not be a Trump supporter, but I would support that order.
Yeah. I wouldn't protest that order.
No.
As a smoker, I agree. I always dispose of my butts. Like if I'm walking down a street or I'm walking somewhere and I'm smoking a cigarette, which is very few places anymore. Thank God I live in rural Midwest Illinois, or I wouldn't be able to smoke anywhere. If I finish one, I don't just flick it. I'll actually knock the cherry off of it, and I will stick it in my coat pocket for later disposal, or until I reach a proper receptacle. I do hate that. We talked about walking in the woods earlier, and we had a great time talking about girls finger banging themselves. But one thing I do hate, walking in the woods or walking someplace that's supposed to be historical, or someplace where you're supposed to be able to walk and enjoy the sereneness and the stillness of it all, and looking down and seeing like orange fucking crush cans and fucking cigarette butts and garbage all over the place. We have a lot of lakes and rivers around here and water and shit, and seeing fucking like cigarette butts all washed up along, it's disgusting. You have a disgusting habit. Cigarettes kill. I love them. I'm counting down the minutes until we're done with this show so I can go outside and fucking smoke a cigarette.
4 questions left, John.
Huh?
4 questions left.
All right. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. Just just put them where they belong. Quit throwing your shit on the ground. All right. Gum, that's okay, but not cigarettes.
I'm impressed, John. I've met maybe 2 people my entire life that actually properly dispose of their cigarettes. Everyone thinks like, oh, I can just litter because I smoke. Cool. As if like I can go out and just like smash my whiskey bottle in the middle of the street when I'm done with it.
Well, you could.
I guess.
Yeah, I was going to say I've done something similar in my life a few times.
I feel like that would be more frowned upon than a smoker doing that for some reason.
No, that's true. I see. I'm a smoker who doesn't mind. Even when I wasn't smoking for like 5 years, I didn't mind secondhand smoke. I got it. I'm like, oh, they're having a good time, and yeah, I smell that. I remember what that feels like. But as somebody who smokes again, I know that some people don't want to smell my smoke, so I don't have a big, huge problem with moving away from other people. Like I wouldn't light up around a bunch of folks who don't smoke, or I would ask, hey, is it cool if I smoke here? Should I go somewhere else? I don't know. That is just politeness. I mean, although on the other hand, kids, I am a hypocrite because I still like to walk through the grocery store with my wife and crop dust the fuck out of people. So.
Mark writes, what would Jay's reaction be if one day he got the nerve to complain about his awful upstairs neighbor, and when the guy opened the door, he was wearing a Brink shirt? Wow. That would That would be an awkward moment, huh?
Yeah.
I went up there I just snapped one day and I couldn't take the noise anymore, and I opened
Sounds
the
to
door.
me. Sounds to me like Mark's already sent the shirt to him.
But what if you did that and you went up and you opened the door and you locked eyes, and then all of a sudden, like some Barry White started playing in the background?
Well, I mean, maybe he would, if he was a Brink fan, maybe he'd be more, be like, listen, the bit's over. We're moving on from this you're ruining my life bit. And, I'm going gray, my hair's falling out, and it's because I can't sleep. Maybe you could tone that down a little bit. Maybe only be noisy like 11 hours a day instead of like 23. Maybe. Bri, when is the goddamn psychic coming on?
That's a good question. I have to call her.
That's what you said the last 5 episodes.
I keep forget. Like I think to call her, and then like I have a conversation with her in my head, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I talked to her, and then I'm like, oh yeah, no, I didn't.
So you're insane.
Yeah.
Okay. Andrew writes, how have your PodSpike 2000s been fitting? Do you think it's weird that Bri got the plus version, which is actually baseball size rather than the golf ball size? Maybe he likes the tighter fit. I have no idea what that meant.
Oh, that's that thing where you shove up your ass and we get more.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Clue me in on this because I am completely at a loss.
We had a question last week that said,
A hypothetical.
yeah, if there was something the size of a golf, would you keep a golf ball in your ass for 30 straight days, 24 hours a day, if it got you 10,000 new listeners that stuck with the show? And I said,
By stuck with the show, what are we talking about?
meaning like when you take the golf ball out of your ass on day 31, they're still loyal listeners. No,
are they loyal donating listeners?
They might be.
See, I'm not going to risk 30 days of a golf ball in my butt on might people. I'll do it. 10,000 of you stick with it afterwards. $1 a piece. That's all I ask. I'll put a tennis ball up there, and believe me, that's rough.
I mean, you got to think with 10,000 listeners, there'll be a couple donators in there.
Yeah, you would think, but then again, people are shitty and want free stuff.
Yeah, I know. We've been going through that for. Holy! Did you guys know that this episode is our 9-year anniversary episode?
All right.
What?
Yeah.
I wish I would have brought the A game then for that, man. Sorry.
Yeah, me too. I wish I would have realized that
Sorry to let you all down.
2 minutes before the episode ends.
Oops.
You know what? We'll just pretend it's next week.
Yeah, right.
And last question, Andrew writes, did Jay send a Valentine's Day card to Larry Bird? I sent him an edible arrangements.
Why Larry Bird?
Everyone is Larry Bird's my favorite basketball player,
Oh, okay.
but it turned into I have a crush on. Yeah,
See, I would have just gone with the fact that you're racist.
because I like a white basketball player.
Duh.
Only the best white player in 20 years.
Well, probably ever.
No.
Yeah, exactly.
Who's
I guess
better
we
black?
have to have it all. I guess it's just we have to have everything. There you go, Larry Bird. You get NBA basketball too. All right, way to go, white people! Yay.
That's all I got. Do you guys have anything else you want to talk about, or do you want to just go? I know John wants to smoke a cigarette.
Don't dangle that carrot in front of me.
Guys, show's over because John wants to smoke a cigarette. Okay. I
guess it is then.
Yeah, I guess it is. So Brink of Sanity 3 on Twitter. John, you have like 8 shows now, so I can't. You want to talk about them? So
Just listen to the Random Ass Radio Network, kids. You can go on iTunes. You can click on Internet Radio. You can click on Random Ass Radio right there and listen to our live stream. You can also just search out Random Ass Radio for the podcast. There's Random Ass Entertainment, Random Ass, radio itself, random ass news, and the big one right now that all the kids seem to love, random ass music. Can you believe, Jay, I started this in October with the random ass music. I just got done with episode 56.
Wow.
Yeah, it's 3 nights a week, kids, Monday, Tuesday, and Fridays at 3:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Just go to randomassradio.com and click on Listen Live.
If you want to hear me nerdgasm over the Dandy Warhols for 2 hours, one of those episodes is up there as well.
Yes, he does.
Oh, I can't wait to not download that one.
Now, to give you all a little tease, too, before we started the show, Jay said, pardon me, I drink for real. He had an album that he would like to do again on the Random Ass Music program, and that it would blow my fucking mind.
Mm-hmm.
So
stay tuned for that. And it's not the Dandy Warhols.
I enjoy the Dandy Warhols. Like I said, hadn't really listened to a bunch of it. And I had
you're
a
the other
great
guy.
fucking time with that. Yeah, the only other one. I felt so out of place, man.
Andrew, it's amazing how much shorter the shows are when Mark isn't cramming in 1 million words a minute.
Don't let him hate on you, Mark.
All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. We will be back next week. Goodbye.
Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye. It's all over. Goodbye. It's time to go. This is the end. Say goodbye.